What's up, guys? Eighth review coming at you today. Today we got Mr. Blue Benjamin by Peewee Longway. So to introduce him a little bit, this album dropped January 29th. It is an album. It's not a mixtape. Some people call it a mixtape. It is a studio album. So I'm going to be critiquing it based on the fact that it is an album and it's not just a collection of songs. It really is a project that he put out. Um, so Peewee Longway is from Atlanta, Georgia, and right now Atlanta, Georgia is really popping right now in music in the hip hop scene. You know, you got Future, Migos. I mean, they're really popping right now. That style is kind of dominating the sound right now. Not necessarily saying that they're the best out there. Like, I'm certainly not saying Future's better than J. Cole or Kendrick, but they're definitely dominating the impact spectrum of hip hop right now. Um, this is an album again, so I'm going to be critiquing it as such. It's 20 tracks long, which to me is way too long for an album of any type, but particularly for this kind of music, simply because this type of music inherently doesn't have much variety to it. It's very repetitive. Um, yeah, so those were my thoughts going into the album. So yeah, let's get right to it. So to start this thing off, man, I'm just gonna say that this album did not impress me at all. It was quite sh- stressful and not painful, but it just was not enjoyable to listen to at all. Simply because there, Pee Wee Longway literally sounds like Migos on about 50% of the songs on here. Uh, those songs would be, I guess, Keep One Cocked, What You Going to Do, Street Boys, Guess What, You Just Don't Fit, I Can't Vouch, Excuses. I mean, they're a lot of the songs sound on, like, I had to check myself when I was listening to particularly Keep One Cocked. I'd say that song is the most Migos sounding track on here. I actually thought it was a Migos song that I was listening to, and I had to, like, or maybe that he was featured in it, or not he, they were featured in the song, because, like, it's literally the same sound, the same flow, the same production, the same. And I understand that they're label mates, like, that makes sense. But I mean, it's just like it's way too similar of a sound. It's like he's kind of just jacking their style in a way that they're not mad about because they're label mates, like they're homies, I guess. But anyway, so Mr. Benjamin is the first song on here, and it's definitely the most, I'd say, the most non-Migos sounding track on here. This song is probably one of the more enjoyable ones for me. So I was kind of positively looking at this thing after that. After hearing it, I was like, all right, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. And then immediately after, we have Keep One Cocked, which is a song where I literally thought I was listening to a Migos song. The song is, I guess, good in and of itself, but when you listen to it after hearing a Migos song, it's like you're listening to the same thing. And he's trying to, I'm assuming he's trying to have his own style by sort of mixing a bunch of the styles of his label mates and his prior label mates, mixing them all together and trying to create his new style, but it's just not working for me. Then we got The Most, which is one of the most annoying songs on the album. There's two extremely annoying ones, and that's one of them. Then we got What You Going to Do, and all I can say for that one is that it's a Migos song. It sounds like a Migos song. Uh, the next song, we got Nothing Else to Talk About. Yeah, you're right. You got that right, because literally the entire album is talking about like money. And on Kendrick's latest release, Untitled Unmasters, there's a song. I think it's the number 3. It talks about blue faces, and it's all about the new blue dollar bills or whatever they're putting out. It's kind of like how rappers often kind of get blinded by the strive for the money. And in Kendrick's song, he talks about it in a very negative way. And but here we have Mr. Blue Benjamin, and it's like literally, it's such a positive look on like the money scene, and just it's all about money, which I mean makes sense going into this. You know, he's a part of 1017 Brick Squad Records, so of course that's probably gonna be a big thing of the album. But it's like, I mean, it seems that he's conscious about the fact that he has nothing else to talk about based on this song. Then we got I Got the Box is the next song, and I really have no idea what he's talking about in the song. He says I got the box that it came with, or came in, and I guess maybe he's talking about a pair of shoes, or like I have no idea. So I'm sorry about that, but I have no idea. It was not a good song. Then we have I'm Saying. This is kind of like more of a Young Thug type flow, and Young Thug used to be signed to 1017 Brick Squad Records, so I guess they're pretty close. Apparently, I looked on his wiki page, and apparently he's worked pretty closely with Young Thug. So he's kind of jacking his style now with this kind of flow that he has. The instrumental is not Young Thug sounding. It's kind of just, it's a really weird instrumental. I was not a fan, but the flow is pretty similar to Young Thug. Then we have Street Boys. Again, that's literally Migos song. Then we have What a Name. That's the other extremely annoying song on here. I mean, the chorus was ridiculous. Then we got Shame. This is kind of like, again, another Young Thug type flow. This time he mixes it with kind of this like future sound, future instrumental with that air horn kind of thing that's on F Up Some Commas, things like that. He kind of mixes it with that sound. Then we have Gold Mouth featuring Gucci Mane. And Gucci Mane's feature is pretty unnoticeable here. It doesn't really add much. It's like more towards the end of the track, and it doesn't really do anything for me to this, it doesn't really do anything for the song. Then we have Guess What featuring Young Dolph, who I'm a fan of. I do like him. I've watched an interview with him on Hot 97 that just released about like a week ago, and he seems like a really cool dude. Seems like he really likes the music or likes music and is really trying to, get himself out there. He's got that one poppin' song, Cut It, on the radio right now. But I mean, this song generally, it's pretty much a Migos track, although Dolph's feature is probably the best part of this track. One of the best features of any of the features on this album. It's pretty. He does the chorus, and the chorus is pretty ridiculous, but it's like, guess what I just did. Guess what I just did. And it's like, it was kind of ridiculous, but it was kind of catchy at the same time. And I guess that's kind of Young Dolph's kind of appeal, is that catchy stuff that you'll know when you hear it. Then we have Back to the Trap House. This starts off with this instrumental type thing that's very reminiscent of Waka Flocka's Hard in the Paint, which may be intentional because, again, 1017 Brick Squad Records is what Flocka's signed to, so they're label mates as well. And the first line of the song is jumped off the porch going hard in the paint. So maybe that was intentional. This song also sounds like Migos after that initial kind of Waka Flocka, I don't know, I guess homage, sort of. Then we have Jackie Tan, which features Wiz Khalifa and Juicy J. And this is probably the worst song on the entire album, simply because, first of all, the instrumental is very underwhelming. And, I mean, Wiz Khalifa and Juicy J don't go with Migos. They wouldn't sound together. They wouldn't sound well with Migos, so they don't sound well with Peewee Longway. It doesn't go with the rest of the album. Like, it was totally off. Then we have You Just Don't Fit, another Migos song. I Can't Vouch, which is another Migos song. Those two back to back. And then Excuses is kind of like a mix between the Migos flow that those songs have and a future sound. Then we have Surgery. This song was awful. It made zero sense whatsoever. Then we got It Costs to Be Me, which is probably the best song on here. I really like this song. It's just talking about how being him is not all that great. Well, it's not everything you see on the outside. It's kind of, I don't know, this is probably the most real track on here. And then the last song, Colosso, Livin'. I really like the vocal feature in this chorus, or in the song. The chorus is really good, and this is probably the most unique song on here. It definitely strays from the consistently Migos-esque sound on this album. So I did like that song. That's probably my second favorite song. So he definitely stacked the best songs at the end. I wish he hadn't done that. I wish he had made better songs and spread them out through the entire album. So I'm going to give this album a 3.5 out of 10, just because it just was not unique at all, and it was very it was just bland throughout the entire project. So I'll see you guys next time.